This is Dominique Wilkins.
Hey, this is Sean Kemp.
This is Gary Payton.
Hey, this is Pau Gasol.
NBA fans, what's up? This is Vince Carter here.
Hey, what's up? This is Matt Barnes. If you're an old school NBA fan like I am, make sure you check out the Basketball Time Machine with my man Sean David.
Hey folks, how's it going? Welcome back to the Basketball Time Machine. I'm your host, Sean David. Thanks for tuning in. You know what time it is? It is old school NBA time. So today's episode, I want to talk about one of my favorite point guards of the 1990s, a player that is unfortunately very much underrated. I'm of course talking about Rod Strickland. So sit down, buckle up, and let's get right into it.
Guy is perhaps the most underrated player, but certainly the most underrated point guard in the league. Look at those stats. Leads the league in assists. He's never made an All-Star team in 10 years. He can drive to the basket, he can finish, but he can also pass in the cracks. I'll tell you, he makes his team go.
Now let me take you back to the late 1980s, to the beginning of the NBA career of Rod Strickland. Rod Strickland was selected with the 19th pick of the 1988 NBA draft by the New York Knicks. This was very surprising. A, why would a player of his caliber be selected that late? And B, why New York? Not too long ago, the New York Knicks drafted starting point guard Mark Jackson, who would make the All-Star team that season, and it was the Rookie of the Year. So on the one side, Rod would be the steal of the draft, just like Dan Marley was for the Phoenix Suns, but on the other side, he would only receive limited minutes. Still, he was putting up great numbers in his rookie season. While only playing 17 minutes per game, he was averaging 9 points and 4 assists. The following year, he would be traded to the San Antonio Spurs for veteran point guard Maurice Cheeks, a move that would not only be good for the Spurs, but also for Rod Strickland. He fought himself into the starting lineup and not only proved that he belonged, but also that he had the potential to be an elite point guard in the league. What was outstanding and different about Rod Strickland's playing style was not only that he could handle the ball better than 99% of the point guards in the league, but also that he had some sort of street ball flair in his game. Starting the 1991-92 NBA season in a contract dispute with the San Antonio Spurs management, Strickland didn't play the first 24 games of that season, but he finally signed December 23rd. For the next 2 years, he played for the San Antonio Spurs, and even though he had to battle many injuries every single season, he was still considered a solid point guard in the Western Conference. But it was widely known that Strickland had more potential than that. In the 1992 season, he signed with the Portland Trail Blazers, where he would play alongside Clyde Drexler. This would be where he would take his next steps. All of his stats would increase, and he was putting up better numbers than almost every point guard in the Western Conference. The Blazers would be a title contender, but for whatever reason, Rod was not voted an NBA All-Star.
When Inside the NBA returns, we'll update that tight race for the top spot in the Midwest, and we'll profile a guy with all-star stats, but not all-star status.
I'm Rod Strickland of the Portland Trail Blazers. You may not know me now, but stay tuned to Inside the NBA on TNT. Peace.
All-star reserves were named this week. Rod Strickland's name came up because he didn't make it, and that snub by the Western Conference coaches ticked him off. Strickland's never been a choir boy, but opponents have sung his praises as one of the best point guards out there. Here's Kevin Kiley.
Rod Strickland has performed at the All-Star level.
Here comes Rod. Hello, 2 more.
He's total package.
Oh, here it is, and there you go.
You know, you'd be like sitting on the bench like, dang, how do you do that?
Rod puts the D over the top. How did he do that?
As you watch Rod Strickland play, it's clear he's among the top point guards in the NBA. This season, his numbers, well, he's hovering around 20 points a game and 10 assists. He has the respect of the coaches in the NBA. He's feared by the players that play against him and respected by his own teammates. The Portland fans love him, and yet nationally, he has never been voted to the All-Star team.
Why? In terms of what he's doing on the floor, I don't know that there's much more he can do.
He got a nice game. I think he's a real silky, smooth, quiet guy.
Game in and game out, Rod comes in, he passes the ball, he scores, he plays defense, and he rebounds. I mean, he does just about everything out on the floor.
He's got a chance to average 20 points and 10 assists this year for us. I mean, that's incredible offensive performance.
He's one of the top guards in the league. Definitely having a great year this year. Very explosive, can penetrate, nice ball handling skills, can shoot the jump shot. He has the whole package, and he's definitely a force to be reckoned with in the league.
When Rod Strickland was not selected to the All-Star team, I remember it like it was yesterday. I was super upset. How can such a great and unique point guard not be an All-Star? Sure, the Western Conference had many great point guards, John Stockton, Gary Payton, Jason Kidd, but number-wise, it's a fact Rod Strickland deserved to make the team. But it just didn't happen. Strickland would not only be one of the best point guards the Portland Trail Blazers would ever had, he also would break franchise records. Just like when he dished out 20 assists in one single game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and basketball fans, wherever you may be. Welcome again to NBA basketball.
Portland. Yeah, he's got 10, and Rod Strickland now with 14 assists. Back over to Strickland, underneath, Buck Williams. Score the basket. Little fadeaway. 13 points and 11 rebounds. With a monster jam.
Another assist.
In 1996, Strickland then would be traded to the Washington Bullets, a team that didn't make the playoffs for 8 straight years. But with their new point guard, they finally were back in business. And Rod Strickland would not only put up great stats, but also every once in a while school the greatest of the greats. From 2000 to 2005, Rod Strickland would play for several teams before he then would retire at the age of 38. So how good was Rod Strickland in my opinion? Well, as I already said, he was one of my favorite players from back in the days. There are not many guys who could finish with contact like Strickland could. His handles, his creativity made him special in my eyes. He was very underrated, but the true fans who know who Strickland was really know how good he was.
True or false? Rod Strickland, you should have made an All-Star team.
That's true, like 3-4 times.
Okay, let's get into this. Which year in particular do you think?
Well,
is it 97 or 98?
I mean, there's about 3 or 4 years it could have happened, but I would say, I mean, I had 1 year where I averaged 18 points,
you led the league in assists,
yep. Yeah. And I made All-NBA second team.
That was 97, I think, yeah.
So I don't know how you do that. And if you make All-NBA, that means what, you top 10?
And so, I think 97 there was an injury replacement for Zoe, yes. And they picked Joe Dumars over you, and you had much better stats, but I think, the Pistons had a better record than the Bulls.
But it was another time, too, with Penny Hardaway. He was injured.
That was the next year.
And he came back. I was mad.
Yes. yeah.
And I liked Penny, but I was mad. But I don't even know if they would have picked me then. I don't know if I was the coach's favorite. You know what I mean? Right. So.
All right, you guys, that was it for today's episode. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button. And also, if you enjoyed the content, please leave a like. It's very much appreciated. Also, I want to give a quick shout out to my Patreons. Thanks a lot, you guys, for supporting the show. It's really appreciated. And if you want to be a supporter of the show, please check out my Patreon account. You all be healthy, take care, and goodbye.